Hello Marios and Rosalinas, to another episode of being 6'1" and wearing a crop top to go sit in a cafe and read Sylvia Plath, so everyone knows I'm really just an ally. That's a joke. I was reading Perfume by Patrick Suskind, which I think if you've read that book, you would probably think someone reading it publicly is more disturbed than cool and mysterious. With that being said, I've just finished off my cinnamon and banana smoothie, so let's get into today's subject, this channel. As I'm writing this, it's November 8th, meaning this channel is now officially over a year old, and that made me look back on this whole thing both fondly and with a little bit of regret. Over the year I've been making videos on this channel. I've made 16 videos to date, 17 because I technically deleted one, but we don't talk about it. And if I'm honest, I'm only particularly proud of two of them, which is the Mishima video that I made about Sun and Steel, which is still one of my favourite books, and the one with Taslo, which absolutely blew up. Thank you for that, by the way. Now, personally, 16 videos in a year isn't enough for me, but I know why that's the case, and to be honest, it's because sometimes I don't have anything to say. This channel started with the intention of telling stories from school and giving anecdotes the same way YouTubers I used to watch did. And very quickly it took a left turn and became a place for me to talk about much more serious matters to me, and while I'm very happy to do that, I mean, I'm making the videos, sometimes that can be more of a curse than a blessing. To explain what I mean a little bit better, this channel tackles pretty serious topics that are close to home, and sometimes I'm not really in the right headspace to sort of come on here and talk about coping mechanisms. I've spoken in recent videos about me being gender fluid / trans, and thankfully I've had minimal backlash, but that's a deeply serious personal topic and one that I've been struggling with for a while, which explains my absences over these past couple months. Don't get me wrong, I've also been working very hard at my actual job, putting in those 60-hour weeks, rising and grinding. But that combined with the gender struggles has meant emotionally I have no space left to talk about anything remotely serious, never mind offer advice to people. I'm well aware the audience for this channel is very small, growing but very small, and even with that I do feel slightly fraudulent for giving advice sometimes, because who am I? I'm just some entity writing scripts in her room late at night when she can't sleep. On the other hand though, I do feel like I have something to say, and if people like it, then that's a bonus. While I will likely never meet someone who watches these videos, I do feel a weird sense of responsibility to portray information accurately and say my genuine opinion. And diving into that a little bit more, one thing that doing this has taught me is that you have to have like a certain boldness in any form of creativity. I touched on this a little bit in my last video, but I've had multiple channels and social media accounts where I've spoke about things that mattered to me, from book clubs to gaming channels. I've tried a lot, and every time I ran into the roadblock of, who cares, why am I making this? My opinion doesn't mean more than anyone else's. And while I'm in no way better than anyone and my opinion isn't more important, it's my opinion and I have to stand on that to a certain extent, which is something that having this channel has really taught me. If you believe something about yourself, your life, your way of doing things, and you don't express it out of fear of backlash, then that has a lot of indications on your internal strength and the foundation which you're proceeding from in other aspects of your life. It's very easy to go, my opinion doesn't matter and who cares, because that is a path that starts and ends with that thought, if that makes sense. It's a much more painful path to put effort in to create something that means something to you and then put it out there knowing that at some point it will be torn apart or you'll be torn apart for making it. That's doubled on the internet because it's sort of how the internet works, which to be honest generally is a good thing. It sort of installs a meritocracy. People will let you know if your shit sucks, which is nice I guess. But that is something that did completely haunt me, but putting in the effort with this channel and putting myself out there a little bit more, I've learned to trust myself and my ideas a little bit more. And on that subject, the phrase, "a coward dies 1,000 deaths" comes to mind, which is a cliche, right? But I think all cliches exist for a reason. The simple lessons are the ones we usually gloss over. I'm getting off track, but through this channel and gender struggles, being myself is a wall that I've constantly had to run into over and over again in the past few months, which is incredibly fatiguing, but there's a sense of motivation and purpose that comes from that even while struggling has made my life much better. So essentially what I'm saying when I boil it down is that this channel has improved my life. You hear YouTubers say it when they hit milestones. Personally, I never think this channel will ever reach like 1,000 subscribers. But in the exercise that has been writing these scripts, recording these god-awful COD gameplays, and putting myself out there, I've gained some confidence which I'll carry into the future. And the general positive reception I've had from people like in the Discord and stuff definitely plays into my sort of confidence in wanting to continue doing them. So I appreciate you all for that, you know who you are. The next upload you'll be getting from me will be this Friday, and it will be the first of an 8-part web fishing podcast run that I'm going to do. The first episode will just be me rambling, but I hope to get some friends to join in on the fun later on. The COD commentaries won't be going away, by the way, I can promise you that, but in between you'll be getting different content, which is nice for me. By giving myself a different platform to talk, it means that I want to create more because I have different outlets. I don't have to wait until I have some philosophical argument. So generally it means more Penny uploads for you. If you've gotten this far, I genuinely appreciate it. Send me your questions on Gmail or Twitter, which you can find in the description. I'll give you my half-baked advice gladly. Thank you for listening. Remember, pull over if you get tired, call me back, and bye.